April 2002. Arnold Schwarzenegger begins filming T3 Rise of the Machines, the latest installment of Terminator, one of the most successful film franchises of all time. At 55, Arnold is one of the highest paid stars in Hollywood, but his influence on the movies goes beyond the numbers.
He certainly changed the face of the action hero.
Each generation comes along and adds a little more to it.
Smith, Wesson, and me.
Nowadays, people are expecting their heroes to be bigger than life.
But Arnold's also brought bigger than life to real life.
We're gonna go and pump it up. Let's do some push-ups. Watch the governor doing push-ups here. Very good. You're doing very well.
His place is secure as being the father of the new wave of pumpology.
His face has appeared on thousands of magazines published in hundreds of languages worldwide. By sheer force of personality, he brought muscles into the mainstream.
He kind of made it almost glamorous in a sense.
And what's interesting is the culture then changed.
And Arnold was the icon. He was the guy who went first.
It's all Arnold all the time. Well, that was bad. That was bad.
Close. It was close.
Arnold Schwarzenegger and his inside stuff on the movie True Lies that you can't see anywhere.
And look for a bang-up box office this weekend at the movies. Insiders say the record books are headed for a rewrite.
Arnold is larger than life.
Everybody loves him, and they got to get a piece of him.
He seems like a wonderful person. Maria is so lucky.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is more than a man. He is an event. For over a decade, he has moved in a sea of reporters and a horde of fans. When True Lies premiered, this tale of a tangoing, suave spy who masquerades as a computer salesman was broadcast live and around the world.
The icon of everyone, mother, father, boy, girl, woman, man, everybody loves him.
E.T.'s exclusive ticket to the post-premiere bash shows that Arnold even throws the biggest Hollywood parties. Sprawling over acres of Los Angeles, it throbbed with virtual reality games, breathtaking fun, even tango dancers. Show business insiders were buzzing that the price tag for this event hovered around the $1 million mark.
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Arnold's week culminated at the famed Chinese Theater, where so many fans turned out, police moved barricades to give more room. With the help of his wife, Maria Shriver, Arnold's imprints were preserved in concrete. This theater was the first Hollywood landmark that he saw some 25 years ago. That day, the Austrian-born bodybuilder searched among the footprints to find his heroes.
I remember kneeling down in front of John Wayne, which was my big idol and still is, and I put my hands on top of theirs, and I had my friend take pictures after pictures, and I still have those photographs around, and to then be asked to come here and to do something that so many other great stars have done, where you feel somewhat uncomfortable even to be in that same category, in that same league. It's really a great honor.
It is fitting that Arnold is immortalized in concrete in front of a theater. The National Association of Theater Owners named him International Star of the Decade in 1993.
Now, when you can put the fans in the seats, a hefty paycheck goes with the territory. For Arnold, for True Lies, it's an estimated $15 million. For that money, Arnold handles everything that shoots, explodes, or flies. But he admitted to me that this movie almost did him in.
Action, action!
At age 46, Arnold Schwarzenegger still pushes himself to the limit. When we talked about True Lies, he told me he did most of his own stunts. This horseback chase nearly ended his career.
Press the button for the top floor, please.
I almost got killed because we were on top of the roof with the horse, and there was no railing there, and the horse somehow freaked out, and it backed up, and one of the hoofs of the horse was hanging off the roof.
No.
Yes, and even if we would have made one other step, I would have been gone. That I know for sure. And then the stunt, no, this is the truth. Then the stunt guys jumped at the horse at the reins and pulled the horse back. And it was a drop, I would say, of around at least 30 feet. It would have been a drop. And you're dead with the horse on top of you, you can forget about that.
My 7 years as governor were the most fulfilling years that I've ever had in my life. I did not accomplish everything that was on my to-do list, but I don't think any governor ever does.
It's very rare that somebody gets to the top of 3 different highly competitive fields, bodybuilding, movie making, and politics. There's no question he got to the top of all 3.
If he could be president, he would have been president. But the fact is he couldn't by law.
I can't imagine another guy coming along that could do all of what Arnold's managed to do in such a short life. It's just inconceivable in many ways.
The youth and the older guys still look up to Arnold as the #1 body in the world. No one compares to what he had, which got him into acting, which also got him into politics, and the brains came with it.
Life is a delicious game for Arnold, and he lives it well. And now he's back in the film industry, and he's making video games, and he's encouraging people to work out again with a new program. It just never ends for him.
He's universally recognized as the king of martial arts movies after making only 1 Hollywood film. He died young, aged just 32, and went on to become the biggest movie star in history. And he influenced popular culture more than anyone, before or since.
Bruce totally inspired me and made me dream and made me realize that I wanted to be a filmmaker.
He definitely inspired me to want to do more with my life.
I know that Bruce Lee is the best.
Bruce Lee changed the world. It resonated not only with Asians, but it resonated with the black community, the white community.
He was a hero for an entire culture that had no heroes.
Bruce Lee is the father of mixed martial arts.
That was a huge elbow that...
Bruce Lee isn't just a fighter, he's a thinker, and the rules that he created in his book and the guidelines, they're transferable to anything in life.
He was smart enough to create this very simple, iconic image that was endlessly reproducible. He's everywhere.
The film was a phenomenal success, taking in $3 million in the U.S. in its first 7 weeks. Costing less than $1 million and generating $200 million, Bruce Lee's breakthrough film went on to become one of the most commercially successful films ever made. Enter the Dragon was not just a financial success. It also became a cultural phenomenon. When it opened in 1973, it started a craze for a new form of martial arts known as Kung Fu in Cantonese, but Kung Fu to everyone else.
After Enter the Dragon, everybody wanted to be a Bruce Lee. And you had a martial arts studio opening up almost on every corner. In the East Coast, the West Coast, around the world, everybody wanted to be a Bruce Lee. They were seeking that. They wanted to be that.
My wife's brother was opening up a martial arts gym in Knoxville, Tennessee. So I went there to talk. There were their mother's children with 5-year-olds and so on, bringing these 5-year girls as well to me. This is Mr. Saxon. He was in that. And I said, yes, that's right, that's right. Did your mother make you come here? What made you come here and do this? I saw Enter the Dragon.
Soon everybody was kung fu fighting across the globe, and pop stars from Donny Osmond to the king of rock and roll himself were showing off their kung fu kicks.
Without Bruce Lee and Enter the Dragon, it might have been years and years and years, and maybe not at all, that martial arts as a genre would have become available.
Bruce intellectualized the art form, and his persona in films brought it to the world. It brought martial arts to the world, it brought kung fu to the world, but it also brought Asian cinema to the world.
As well as introducing the world to kung fu, Bruce Lee also introduced another new word to the West, the name of a little-known Asian weapon called the nunchuck.
His use of weaponry and his skill with the weaponry, I mean, you could see that the guy didn't, it wasn't tricks. It wasn't just, okay, camera tricks. Would probably spend hundreds and thousands of hours practicing with the nunchucks, you know, and he barely blinked. I mean, he was a master over the medium and over his artistry.
It looked like he was almost breakdancing with the nunchucks that rolled around on the floor, hitting everyone's ankles with the nunchucks.
Bruce Lee was really ahead of his time in terms of figuring out how to create unique, iconic emblems or things that would be uniquely Bruce Lee. What he did was he chose as his signature weapon the Seonji-kwan, the nunchaku. So as soon as you see those two, that weapon, you think Bruce Lee.
The kung fu Bruce Lee demonstrated on screen was all about realism, much like his own creation, known as Jeet Kune Do. It was a revolutionary approach to fighting that would change the world of martial arts forever. Bruce Lee not only introduced the world to martial arts, he also reinvented it, creating his own called Jeet Kune Do, being practiced here in Hong Kong. It's the forerunner of the mixed martial arts scene in UFC. Its key principles: simplicity, economy, and being as direct as possible.
Jeet Kune Do is called the way of intercepting fists. Actually, Bruce Lee has explained his Jeet Kune Do as the art of fighting without fighting. So that means if we don't allow our opponent to start a fight, then there will be no fighting. And that is the highest technique and the ultimate aim.
In a fight situation, Bruce Lee's ultimate aim was to take his opponent out before he had a chance to attack, using any means necessary.